The presidency has responded to comments made by former President Goodluck Jonathan and renowned literary icon Professor Wole Soyinka on the recent declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, over the weekend, President Jonathan accused all three arms of government, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary of abuse of office, warning that the actions taken by them will have lasting consequences.
Yes, the former president of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, is right. Every action we take today, be it good or bad, has its consequences. Just that these people, some of them have sold their conscience that they don't care what the consequences of their action will be. Because by the time the consequences will appear, they must have been long gone. And who will suffer the consequences? The people they left behind, their children, the future generation, the youth of Nigeria. They will be the one to suffer these consequences. You heard what former president said, that our passport is not being respected, not because of Yahoo boys, but because of what the three arms of government in Nigeria is doing. Guys, let us watch the video. Let us watch OG and Co analysis. When we return, we'll continue. Please like this video, comment and share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you.
The presidency has responded to comments made by former President Goodluck Jonathan and renowned literary icon Professor Wole Soyinka on the recent declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, over the weekend, President Jonathan accused all three arms of government, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary of abuse of office, warning that the actions taken by them will have lasting consequences.
The key actors in Nigeria, from executive to the legislature, luckily Senator Binta and others are here, and the judiciary did know the correct thing to do. But they are refusing to do it. They are pretending to sleep. And waking such a person is extremely difficult because the person knows the right thing. A clear abuse of offices, clear abuse of power, clear abuse of privileges, cutting across from the three arms of government, from the executive to the parliament to the judiciary. And I always plead with our people that whatever we do affects everybody.
Whatever we do affects everybody. He especially condemned the judiciary, saying that, especially the fact that their decision affects everybody, especially internationally. He talked about the fact that, why do we think that Nigerians are not respected abroad? It's not just the Yahoo people. Our international passports are not regarded because of decisions that are made by the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature. In the same vein, Professor Wole Soyinka over the weekend said that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State betrays the spirit of federalism. The playwright made the comment while speaking with the Africa Report, adding that the Nigerian constitution gives the president too much power. He called for an amendment to the constitution. Soyinka also spoke on live television, describing the emergency rule as an excessive measure. Let's take a look.
Let me confess that I was surprised at the ease with which this emergency law, that step, was applauded and passed. And then the critical question, even within the powers of a president under democratic dispensation, there are areas of discretion. And you're quite right to point out this wholesale suspension of everything to government. I think that's an over excessive response within the rights and the powers. We're assuming now, let's say that the president is constitutionally right, but within his powers, there are also areas of discretion. And I think that the wholesale scuttling of the democratic existence in the rivers was excessive. I think it could have been managed much better, much more economically.
Well, the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity Temitope Ajayi put out a statement, and his statement reads, Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka and former President Goodluck Jonathan are respected statesmen. Like many Nigerians, have offered varied opinions on the president's declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State. The two distinguished Nigerians have also offered their own opinions too. President Tinubu has a country to govern, and he has exercised his power under the 1999 Constitution as amended. President Tinubu has a duty to preserve the corporate existence of Nigeria. He won't allow any part of the country or state to descend into chaos. The Supreme Court ruled that there is no functioning government in Rivers State known to the Constitution of Nigeria. President Tinubu won't fail in his sacred duty to protect and preserve the country. I mean, over the weekend, we saw lawyers debating on the issue and, the ratification of the National Assembly. And we have, come to the conclusion that basically the 1999 Constitution is what the Supreme Court says that it is, basically, because everyone is coming with their own opinions, with their own interpretations of the 1999 Constitution. Well, in the meantime, the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Afam Osigwe, has called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to reverse his decision on the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State, calling it unconstitutional. Osigwe spoke on live television on Sunday, reiterating the position of the NBA, condemning the removal of the state governor, Sim Fubara. Let's take a look.
For us, first of all, the grounds for the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State were not in existence as at the time the president made the declaration. It is our view that the facts as presented did not justify a declaration of state of emergency. They did not meet the threshold or the facts and circumstances enumerated under Section 3(5) subsection 2. Now, the next segment is whether, assuming that as lawyers say, without conceding that the president was right in declaring a state of emergency, was he right in suspending the governor and his deputy as well as the House of Assembly? We also went on to say, and still insist, that that declaration too was unconstitutional, because Section 11(4) of the Constitution makes it clear that declaration of a state of emergency does not extend to power of the National Assembly to remove a governor. Now, if you know that under Section 305 subsection 5, the declaration by the president does not really become law until it is ratified by a resolution of the National Assembly. So you understand in what context Section 11(4) of the Constitution says that provided that the National Assembly does not have the power to remove the governor and his deputy.
Meanwhile, a 2023 video showing a former governor of Lagos State, Babatunde Raji Fashola, narrating how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu fought to restore a former governor of Oyo State, Rashidi Ladoja, who was impeached by Oyo State legislators and forced out of office in January 2006, has surfaced online. Well, Fashola described Tinubu as a champion of oppressed people who made moves to ensure that a sitting governor was not left impeached. Let's take a look.
When Governor Ladoja was removed as governor in Ibadan by an apparently illegal impeachment process, it was to Lagos that he came, and I know, and I will say no more about that part. He said, just bring your constitution, bring your law books, I need you to research something for me. When I got there, what he said to me was, are we just going to fold our hands and let a governor in Nigeria be impeached and nothing will happen? And I said, but he's in opposition, it doesn't matter. What can we do? Call your colleagues. And it was in his house, in that body law, that a group of us lawyers sat down, prepared the court documents, and it was that case that went all the way to the Supreme Court, and Ladoja was returned back to office before he finally lost in the re-election. That wasn't his cause. That was an opposition governor. But that is the man, the champion of oppressed people.
Tinubu champion of oppressed people. That's how former Governor Fashola described it. And you know, Dr. Bass, if you recall, I believe Ladoja had given an interview back in 2019 saying that it's because he had told Obasanjo that he wasn't qualified to run for a third term, and that's why he was impeached. Go ahead.
Okay, certain things we're dealing with here. We're dealing with politics, we're dealing with law. The irony surrounding President Tinubu's, declaration of emergency. Yes, President Tinubu, as pointed out by a former governor, former minister, was a champion of democracy. He was part of the June 12 struggle. He even helped to fund the June 12 struggle. He may also have intervened as, the governor pointed out, the former minister pointed out, in the case in Oyo State, which was eventually decided in favor of Ladoja. Now, the irony that people are pointing out is that the same man who was a champion of democracy, who in fact in 2013, when President Jonathan followed the Constitution and did not, import into the Constitution what is not there, is the same man today who condemned him that time that is even doing something that is worse. This is the issue. So, BRF, former governor, former minister, Babatunde Raji Fashola, is right to say, yes, this man was a champion of democracy. But if you look at the timing of that interview, that was. And the Nigerians are saying, well, President Tinubu has disappointed us by taking this line of action.
Right.
As to the intervention by President Jonathan and Professor Wole Soyinka, it's as follows. I think that, President Jonathan has taken a very courageous stand in this matter. And it is most unusual, because ordinarily you will not criticize a sitting president.
And he said that.
But he has chosen to do it because he considers it, something of moment, something very serious. And he talks about abuse of power, abuse of privileges across the line, and that the judiciary has been compromised. That can only come from a man who is speaking as a statesman and saying, look, let's apply caution. And he didn't directly mention President Tinubu's name, but anybody who is intelligent enough, will see that he was making a very valid point. And what we expect is that President Tinubu will listen to these voices of reason and see reason, to reverse himself on the question of Rivers State. Even if he's still going to uphold the state of emergency, he can return the democratic structures that were there before and then still have that state of emergency as Section 305 allows him to do. As Alpha Mosigwe pointed out, there's no part of the Constitution that gives you absolute privileges or powers. And the thing is that even under Section 305, the president does not have absolute rights to declare a state of emergency. That's why the matter had to go to the National Assembly, the same National Assembly that has shown itself to be a rubber stamp assembly.
All right.
Finally, I end with the comment by Professor Wole Soyinka. Professor Wole Soyinka is over 90. I see some nitwits, some dimwits, saying, oh, Professor Soyinka should speak. Professor Soyinka has not spoken. Now, Professor Soyinka, at over 90, has spoken. And he has said, look, this is a violation of the federalism principle. This also is an abuse of power. That's simply what it means when he says the action of the president was excessive, and that the president does not have any absolute right to shut down democratic governance in any part of the country. I hope the young people who have been criticizing Professor Soyinka will know that he has spoken up and that they too, as citizens, have a right to speak up. And that we should not leave it to, people who are nearing 100 years of age, while young people are just, dropping the ball. And that's why I think the young persons in the PDP, the PC-PDP, professionals, concerned professionals in the PDP, they have acted right also in condemning it.
Well, another reaction that trailed the story is a video showing the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, threatening to cause political crisis in the state of any governor who tries to interfere in the affairs of the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State. Wike made the comment in Port Harcourt at the PDP Secretariat during the party's state congress in August 2024. Let's take a look.
I hear that there are some governors, who say they will take away the structure and give back to somebody. I pity those governors because I'll put fire in their state. When God has given you peace, you say you don't want peace. Then whatever you see, you take. Prepare, because I have the capacity to also do the same thing in your own state. Whether you are from Bauchi, I don't give a damn. Whichever state you come from, as far as I know that you are trying to put yourself in River State, your hand will get burnt. And you will never sleep in your state. You will never do governance again. You will see political crisis. As far as PDP is concerned.
All right, here is FCT Minister here, Nyesom Wike, and that video was trending because, you know, one of the reasons that the president gave was that the imminent danger was, you know, whether or not Fubara was threatening violence in the state and encouraging the young people to blow up pipelines. But we see sitting minister here, you know, threatening fire and brimstone, threatening to cause political crisis in the states of any governor that is trying to interfere in the Rivers crisis. Now, this is to the PDP governors who have now gone to the Supreme Court. Be careful of, I guess, Governor Wike, because he had threatened before, and I don't know what that threat means. But let's just sum this whole story up with this video showing when the former Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike, and his supporters were celebrating after INEC declared Sim Fubara the winner of the Rivers State election in March 2023. Let's take a look. Then they fear you, oh, Wike, they fear you. I mean, that was then. You saw Fubara there, you know, basically prostrating, you know, thanking, you know, the almighty Wike at the time.
Guys, do you know the funniest thing that is happening in this country called Nigeria? Is that you will see some person defending nonsense simply because they are benefiting from the system. Otherwise, why would Mr. Jayi be saying this? That these people are just saying their own opinion. Like 85% of Nigerians, 85% of our lawyers, 85% of our statesmen, 85% of those who knows what the law and constitution of Nigeria said have come out to say that the way Sim Fubara was dismissed, it is not right, that he is democratic elected governor of Rivers State, and that there is nothing to warrant him being suspended. But the deal has been done, and these people are defending it. And to even make matters worse, our National Assembly, our lawmakers, endorse what the executive did in Rivers State. And tomorrow we will say that we are democratic, that Nigeria is a democratic country, that we are celebrating 26 years of unbroken democracy in Nigeria. Is this the democracy? Somebody is elected by his people, he was suspended by the president, and a sole administrator who is not even from the state was installed there. And Before this whole thing happened, all the thing that Supreme Court ordered the governor of River State to do, he has already proceeded to do it. But look at what happened to him. Nigeria just happened to Sim Fubara, and just like it's happening to many of us. You heard the former president of Nigeria, Goodluck. He said, hardly will you see former presidents come out to talk to a sitting president or what is happening. But according to him, he said that the three arms of government we have in Nigeria has been compromised, from the executive, legislature, and judiciary. These people have been compromised. He said that our passport does not have value, not just because of Yahoo, but because of the actions of these three arms of government we have in Nigeria: our legislature, our judiciary, and our executive. He also said that every action we take today has its own consequences. But of course, with those who has an ear here, no, everything goes. After all, I have the power. I can do whatever I want to do with it, forgetting that all this thing has its own consequences. But is it even bothering them? Some of them have lost their conscience. Some of them have thrown caution to the wind. They have damned the consequences. After all, how many years do we have to live here? After all, my name will go down as one of the toughest presidents that Nigeria has. After all, my name will enter the register as the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. But this is not what really matters. What matters is legacy. Just like today, history and posterity is remembering Goodluck Jonathan. Just like today, history and posterity is remembering late Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, the former president of Nigeria. Not just being a president, not just being a governor, not just being a priest, not just being a teacher, not just being a mother. You have to leave a legacy that even when you are no more, your legacy will speak for you. This is what every human being should do. It's not just about doing things now. We should always bear in mind that any action we take today has its own consequences. Guys, I will see you in my next video. Please like this video, comment and share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel and turn on the post notification so that anytime I upload a new video, you will be the first to get notified. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and have dominion. Bye bye.